Came home from work, just a normal day, sat down, started eating a sandwich, and took a bite of a sandwich, and then I coughed up bright red blood. It covered my sandwich. And the next thing I know, I'm waking up in the ICU. I looked off to the left, and there was somebody standing there. Now, I couldn't see him, but I could feel it. But I cried out to God for the first time since I was a little boy. I said, please don't let me die. And it was in the middle of that. Then I was at the top of my ceiling. I saw everything. I could reach 360-degree vision. I could see my body laying on the bed, and just the love that I experienced. I was ensconced in this light, the most magnificent light, and the love that was bestowed upon me instantly. My name is Janas. I had a profound near-death experience on April 2nd of 2020, which profoundly changed my life. I was born in 1970. I grew up Catholic from my grandparents, Catholic upbringing in a Catholic school for 2 years, so the Bible was really forced into me, and I believed what I was being taught. I believed what I was told, that good, bad, right, and wrong, heaven and hell, demons and angels and all of this. And went to Catholic school for 2 years, quintessential altar boy, acting out plays and stuff like that. I grew up in a very abusive household, and then early on, I quit the religion. I just quit going to church. The abuse was too much. It was clear that God did not care for me or want me or any of that. And that's the way my life went. I went through 2 marriages. I've had 2 kids, grandchildren, scraping the bottom of the barrel throughout my whole life. I was at work one day and they said, we're talking about this COVID thing. And I'm like, I've been through so much. I said, I'm not worried about this. And then on April 2nd, I came home from work, just a normal day, sat down, started eating a sandwich, and breathing became very labor intensive. Took a bite of a sandwich, and then I coughed up bright red blood. It covered my sandwich. And I'm not, when you cut your finger, it's dark red. This was pink. Bright red blood, and then it just never stopped. And I just kept coughing up blood. Now I have filled my plate full of blood. As I got up to start going into the kitchen, wheezing, I could not breathe. It was very difficult to breathe. Now I'm starting to panic because there's no air. And I got to the kitchen and I'm frantically calling my ex-wife. She's a nurse. I tried to talk to her, got hold of the phone, and I coughed up blood all over my phone. And she jumped up and she said, Jason. And I said, I don't feel good. I'm going to go lie down. And this is one of the last things I remember. She goes, Jason, if you lie down, you're going to die. I said, I don't feel good. I can't. I'm tired. And I'm just going to go lie down. Jason, if you lie down, you're going to die. And the next thing I know, I'm waking up in what I later found out was the ICU. Myriad of doctors around. Now it's dark. My hands are strapped to the bed. My feet are strapped to the bed. An IV in the side of my neck and the carotid, tube down my throat, stuff up my nose. I can't talk, and the pain is beyond anything I've ever experienced in my life. It was just brutal. It was mind-altering pain. It just felt like there was 5 billion tons on my chest. And I got these doctors and nurses, and when I awoke, instantly, I looked off to the left, and there was a TV there, and there was somebody standing there. Now, I couldn't see him, but I could feel it. I could feel somebody standing there. And they're trying to talk to me, and I was just a wreck. I was just in so much pain. I just wanted to sleep. Next day rolls around, this presence is still there, and I'm staring. I think I was in the ICU room for a month. I just kept looking at the TV, and the nurse would say, Jason, do you want me to turn the TV on? Well, I can't respond. How do you tell somebody there's somebody standing there? I could feel them, right? I can feel it as clear as I see you across from me. I woke up one day and there was nobody in the room, and I'm staring at this TV, just staring. They had taken the breathing tube out, and I had lost 75 pounds in that month that I was in the ICU room. I'm staring at this TV, and I'm on my elbows and I'm shaking uncontrollably. I cannot speak, but I cried out to God for the first time since I was a little boy, since I was 7. I said, please don't let me die. Please, please don't let me die. I said, I want to see my children. Please don't take my daughters from me, please. I know I abandoned you and Jesus. I said, I'm sorry. I said, I never stopped believing in you, but I quit having a relationship with you. And for that, I am truly sorry. But I said, there was somebody that I love very much. And I said, please don't take her from me. And it was in the middle of that. Then I was at the top of my ceiling. I saw everything. I could reach 360-degree vision. I could see my body laying on the bed. I could see the nurses. I could see everything. I could see everybody living and dying. I was now seeing through the wall, and I could see in this massive field out in the back every single blade of grass. I could see the serrations in each one of them, the veins, the colors were liquid, and they were flowing. And then the grass, their blades turned towards me, and just the love that I experienced. I was in this light, the most magnificent light, and the love that was bestowed upon me instantly, in a trillionth of a second. I knew who was holding me. I knew where I was, and I was loved. There was no more pain. I was at peace for the first time in over 40 years, 50 years. There was absolute knowledge. I knew everything there was to ever know or ever possibly know. And I was everything that had ever existed and or will ever exist in that moment. I'm seeing the tree souls, the grass souls. I'm feeling this love that just does not exist in this world. And as I'm in this moment, I'm realizing, as I merged with the light, became the light, that God, my Father, was holding me. I began to think, and I said, I'm home. All of this was just instantaneous. And then as I'm just being held and adored by my Father, again, a thought came into my consciousness. What a beautiful day to die. Like it had been nothing, and it was nothing, that this has happened to me before. And how long this took, I don't know. It could have been 10 seconds, 5 hours, 20 hours. I don't know. And then another presence showed up, and it was a phenomenal amount of love bestowed on me. And I know that I recognized that energy instantly. Instantly. It was Jesus, it was Yeshua. And everything was just beautiful. It was perfection. It's just indescribable. Next thing I know, I felt 2 hands, which would be on my soul because my body wasn't there, and I was being gently guided down. My soul was pushed back in by Yeshua or Jesus. And then I felt actual physical hands on my body, and then my body was pushed back down onto the bed, and then I was out like a light, gone. And I woke up again at some point later, I don't know, nurses frantically doctors now in there frantically trying to wake me up. I immediately looked back up to where the TV was, and that presence was gone. We're here, I want no meds, I want nothing. I need everybody to leave the room right now. Like, are you okay? And I'm like, I need you all to leave. In that moment, I was terrified. Like, they're really gonna think I'm nuts, right? And I'm like, I cannot tell anybody. So I was in the hospital a little while longer. Then I got discharged. Then I went home. I had no business going home, but I couldn't take care of myself. I figured if I'm gonna die, I would much rather die in my own bed. They said, you're not well enough to go home. I said, I don't care. I said, I need to go home. And I wasn't, because I had to have surgery. They found tumors in my lungs that had ruptured, and they pumped out 12 cups of blood. So when I was in there in the ICU, they pumped out 2.8 liters of blood from my lungs. And I basically, they said your cause of death was acute respiratory failure, hypoxia. I basically suffocated, drowned. And it was very painful, beyond painful. And I was still feeling those repercussions, and just trying to find my feet and figure out what had happened. I became very depressed, very depressed. I had the most profound experience of my life. A few months after my NDE, I was very depressed and I was shouting at God. I'm like, you cannot do this to somebody. When you're out of your body, you just feel love because that's who we are. It's a love that is incomprehensible to any of you that have not had a near-death experience. It just does not exist. And all of a sudden I come back and I feel everybody's pain. I feel their hate, their rage, their anger. And it is truly hard to fit back into a world you know that doesn't even exist. I'm shouting at him, you can't do this. You picked the wrong person. And then that was when he actually spoke to me. And he said, why not? You are my son. And I fell to my knees and I put my arms up and I said, for all that I am you. It was my acknowledgement when I merged with the light, when I became one with the Father. When you have that realization that your life is never the same, it's never the same. But I have been chosen. That's been my journey so far, so I know more is coming, more is headed my way. It's just a matter of what you call divine timing. And I was told that I am simply here to rest, but I'm being provided for. I believe, I trust, without question, hesitation, or doubt. And that is why people say, what are you doing in California? It's where I'm supposed to be.